I am Nosha Harwell, Atlanta housing resident, a proud Atlanta housing resident, I may add. You guys saved my life, like literally brought me up from the storm of my life. I came to Atlanta, Georgia in 2017. I was homeless. I was broken. I went to my sister house. I stayed there in the shelter with my kid at the time. I was pregnant. But also, I left the shelter because it was just too much for me to handle. It was depressing me even more. If you be around depressed folks, you're gonna feel depressed, right? So I left my sister home, and I got a room and house. In this room and house, this was a 19. It was 19 people in one unit. So it was a 3-bedroom house with 19 people in the room and house. And out of those 19 people, 13 was kids. That was another depressing situation. I was working, so I didn't understand, like, if I'm a hard worker, how do I become homeless? And it can happen to anyone. And I didn't know when I was able to get out of the pit, when I was able to see the light. So thanks to Atlanta Housing, I was able to regain ground. I was able to get on solid ground. With my daughter, after I had my baby, I brought her back home to a rooming house. It was cold. I mean, literally, you could see the outside from the baseboards of the rooming house. So from leaving Florida because of Hurricane Irma, by the way, I didn't mention that. I left Florida because I really didn't have any family. I was just about to have a baby. I left Florida, came up here because my mom was staying here at the time. By the time my baby was about 5 months, my mom had moved back to where we're from, Tennessee. So it was like I was left alone again. But this time I actually had my own place. So after staying in the rooming house, I had my baby in the rooming house. I brought her back to a rooming house of 19 people, 3-bedroom. Very depressing, even more depressing. My son was not having, just put it like this, he was acting out in school. It was his 5th grade year. I want to mention the school so bad because if I ever become rich, I'm going to donate to you all and this particular school. But so he was acting out. We had a meeting, a conference with his teachers and social workers. And while we was in the middle of that meeting, I bust out and just told my whole situation. I'm like, why are you acting like this? Is it because we're homeless? And I was just so emotional because I was working, but I could not afford a place to live. And I hadn't been on my job that long. So it was like, where do I go? Do I continue to live in this situation? Before long, after the meeting, the social worker walked up to me and basically told me to meet her in the office, that she may have something that came across her desk that could benefit my family. I had no idea what she meant. I'm thinking they about to take my child. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like, I should have told these people I was homeless. But sometimes you got to be transparent. You definitely have to be transparent with people because you never know what resources are out here. But if you're just sitting around complaining and living in your pity, staying depressed and not really expressing to people what's going on in your life, you never know who can help you. So she brought me to the office and she's like, yes, a program just came across my desk. This was on a Friday. She said yesterday, Thursday, just came across my desk. We are helping, we partnered. Atlanta Housing has partnered with a program called Haven, and we are helping families that kids go to Atlanta Public School. They're homeless and their parents work at least 30 hours a week. And I was like, what? Are you serious? And I'm thinking like, this is going to be a process. Keep in mind, I'm someone that have always been a hard worker. Prior to going homeless, I was a brand ambassador for many different major companies. I was living a life. I was traveling with a marketing company. I was living a life. So even hard workers can fall and need a hand up. That's the point I'm trying to make. So it's just like one of those things. So she called me into the office and she's like, hey, do you have y'all's social security and birth certificate on you? And I'm like, yeah, we're homeless. It's in the car. Let me go get it. All my important information was in my car. Kept it in my car because I didn't trust the rooming house situation I was staying in at the time. So I went and got my information. This was on a Friday. I kid you not. I got a call from Atlanta Housing on a Monday talking about a briefing. Now keep in mind, I never had Section 8 in my life. I have always worked and paid my rent. So homelessness and not having a roof over your head can happen to anyone. Keep in mind, this is how God works. I'm sorry, I never was on a Section 8 list. The resources are out here, but they're going through programs that they see people that really need it. You know, now I love y'all, but I don't plan to be on Section 8 all my life. Now I love y'all. I appreciate everything you do. Like, I forever, like, I would come and volunteer in any of your events. I appreciate everything you guys have ever done and what you guys do for the residents of Atlanta. So yes, Haven came through for us. I was able to land a housing voucher and get my first apartment. I had no idea how I was going to get my first apartment because my income was not meeting up. It was like, you know, but moving forward, Haven definitely gave me a solid foundation for my family. It elevated and it improved the quality of our household, our life. My son, he started having better grades, and I was able to enroll in school. And I just recently completed my Bachelor's of Science in Business, concentrating marketing in April. Yes, and because of Atlanta Housing, because of Haven, like, I was able to level up my life in so many ways. And now that I have my degree, my first assignment is with the city of Atlanta, and I want to definitely pay it forward. Like, I owe you guys, Atlanta Housing, honey, I owe you guys like everything, because I was able to actually see the light. My feet are on solid ground. So it's definitely been a journey. I'm excited for the future. I'm no longer broken and depressed, trying to figure things out. I have that stable foundation to definitely move my life forward. And I'm definitely excited about buying a house. I mean, I love you guys, but I got to go. I don't plan to be on this for the rest of my life. But yeah, it has improved my quality of life with my household. My kid is about to graduate from high school. He's making better grades now. Just having that stable foundation, like, being homeless really did something to me, and it made me really push harder in life. I had the opportunity to attend Atlanta Housing Back to School Bash, and I couldn't do nothing but give gratitude and thanks. Like, these people probably really thought I was crazy, because I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you. You just don't know how well you have helped me in my life, like going from homeless to now having my degree, now working for the city of Atlanta, has been like everything. My life has did a total, not 180, but 360 in the last 5 years. It's so crazy how everything becomes a full circle. I give it all to Atlanta Housing.